Welcome back, folks. Another day, another skate hacks video. Subscribe to my skate hacks channel if you haven't already. That's just a channel where all the skate hacks are going to be posted, nothing but the skate hacks. So today we're going over blunt slides on ledges. So this is just sort of like a rule of thumb video for any type of blunt slide on a ledge, you know, whether it's backside, front side, nose blunt, back nose blunt, switch, whatever the case is. It's just like a video where you can look back to get tips on blunt sliding on ledges, whatever the type. I just wanted to make a video on this and due to popular request. So when you blunt slide on a box or a ledge or a hubba, whatever it is, it's most likely going to be scarier to commit than to blunt slide on a rail, because of course you can kind of dip down the blunt slide on a rail to the point where it's pretty much just a tail slide, right? This could technically be a blunt slide. This photo right here could be a blunt slide, but the world may never know unless there's, of course, footage of this. So you get the idea. It's harder to blunt slide on a box, or it's a little bit scarier to blunt slide on a box than it would be to just do a blunt slide on a rail where you can dip it over and not have to worry about that. So before you even try the blunt slide, you want to make sure that you wax up the ledge. You wax it up nice and smooth. Now there's some ledges out there that are waxed 24/7, 365, but that's usually not the case. You're going to need to wax up the ledge or the box, whatever it is you're trying to blunt slide. Just put the board in the blunt slide position and you can kind of see where the wheels are going to slide throughout the box. So you want to just wax that all up so that it's nice and smooth. If the wheels aren't going to slide smooth, you're not going to get a smooth blunt slide. So make sure that you wax the top of it. Make sure you got a good wax job on that box. First step with the blunt slide, you want to be familiar with standing in a blunt and holding it. So this may seem unrelated, but it helps to know how to blunt to fakie, or to just go up on a quarter pipe and stall in that blunt and hold it. Or you could do the same thing on a curb, or you could just set your board in the blunt position on the box and try to stand on it and see how that feels. It's definitely not the most comfortable position at first. It's kind of scary. You'll notice that you need to put a lot of your weight on the back foot. The front foot's pretty much just there to keep the board in place. The more weight you put on the front foot, the more likely you are to just slip out completely. The board will slip out on top of the box and you'll go the other way. It's not very pretty. So you want to put a lot of your weight, most of your weight on that back foot. That's what's going to set it in that blunt position, and the front foot is just sort of keeping it there. Don't put too much weight on it. So you want to be comfortable with the ledge first. You want to be able to ollie over the ledge. You want to be completely over the blunt slide, completely on top of it, and that is the key to this trick. So you're going to come at a short angle. You don't have to come at a super crazy angle, just like a slight angle, and you're going to ollie to the point where you're almost getting over the entire ledge. And before you even get onto the ledge, the majority of your weight is going to be on that back foot. So as long as you have adequate amounts of wax on the box or ledge that you're trying it on, you should be good as far as the slide. I think the hardest part of this trick is maintaining the blunt slide, because one of the biggest problems with this trick is slipping out in whichever direction, or not getting into the blunt in the first place and just missing it, and it just turns into an ugly bail. So the main issue with this trick is just holding that blunt slide, and that's where the practice comes into play on a curb, or like I said, on a quarter pipe, where you can hold it and really control the blunt. And you have to really control the blunt and pop out of it. On a quarter pipe, you do it to fakie, or you blunt half cab in, or whatever the case is. You need to have control of the blunt, because it's not just enough to be able to get into the blunt slide and slide it along and hope that you're able to make it out of that. You need to be on top of it. You need to be controlling the blunt. Start at the end of the box so you don't have to worry about committing to the whole box, which is also something that might be kind of scary for you. But start at the end of the box and then slowly work your way up to do more and more of the box. Another thing you can do to practice the motion of a blunt slide without having to worry about ollieing into it, if that's something that you're worried about, is get a little bit of wax and find a place where not many people skate, or a place where not many people will slip on the wax and get pissed off, and just wax the ground in an area where you know that the wheels are going to slide, And so practice the blunt sliding motion on flat ground. So just roll up to it, get in the blunt sliding motion, and the wax on the ground will allow you to slide. And this is something that will help you learn to control the blunt slide and when to turn out, just so you can get comfortable with actually sliding the blunt slide motion and then turning outwards. So this is the same motion that you're going to practice on the actual ledge when it comes time to actually trying the tricks. So like I said, you want to come at a slight angle, pop and sort of open your shoulders as if you're going to do a frontside 180. Make sure you're comfortable enough with ollieing high enough to get completely on top of the ledge, and nearly all of that weight is going to come on the back foot. That's a very important thing so that you don't slip out. And from that point on, it's about maintaining the blunt slide, which I said you can practice on flat ground or a small curb. And then after that, you're going to have to control the blunt slide enough to give it a little nudge out and bring it back to regulars. But of course, like I said, this tip doesn't just apply to backside blunt slides. You can also apply these same general tips to a frontside blunt slide or a nose blunt on a ledge, whatever the case is when you're trying to do any type of blunt slide on a ledge. These are the tips that apply. You want to make sure that you're comfortable with standing in that blunt slide position. Start out practicing on a curb, come at a slight angle, put almost all of that weight on whichever foot's going to be pressing down the blunt. You're going to put the majority of your weight on that, and you want to keep it that way so that you don't slip out. So those are my tips for blunt slides on ledges and boxes. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any other questions about this topic, comment down below. Also comment down below your future suggestions for skate hacks videos. As always, see you next time.